This is a trick that's done with a mixed up deck of cards. I'm going to ask the spectator to just touch the back of any card as I fan through them. Now this really is a free choice. They can pick any card they want. Let's say they got that one. Now what's different about this trick is I'm not going to show them the card that they picked. I'm not going to look at the card. They're not going to know what it is. In fact, I'm going to spread this red deck out. I'm going to ask them to place their card somewhere in the red deck without looking at it. So let's say they put it right there, put the rest of the red cards on top, and we will straighten the deck up. Now, their card is lost in there. There's no way for me to manipulate it or peek at it, but we know exactly where it is and we know we can find it later. And I would hand this to the spectator and ask them to sandwich it between their hands and hold it nice and tight so there's no way I could get to that card. Now I would ask them to imagine what their card might be. Now, of course, they can't guess what card it is. They don't know what card it is. They didn't see it, but they can imagine a playing card. So I'm going to start drawing a playing card. And then I'm going to draw what I think their card might be. And I want them to just keep imagining what they think it might be. Yeah, I think it could look something like this maybe. It's coming to me. Let's see. I think that maybe. Let's color this in a little bit. I'm starting to get an image in my head. That. Oh yeah, I know what this is. I know exactly what this is. I know exactly which card they were thinking of. Now they didn't see their card. They picked a card, and this is my. Now don't make fun of my drawing, but this is the drawing I came up with. Now you may not recognize that person, but I know exactly who that is. That's Elvis Presley, and Elvis was known as the king of rock. And I think a lot of women liked him, so it's probably the King of Hearts. So I think the card they picked, the only blue card here, this is the one they picked. This has to be the King of Hearts. Let's see how we did. Actually, my guess was even better than I thought. To perform this trick, you obviously need to get yourself a blank playing card where you can draw a picture of Elvis or whatever you want your ending to be. It doesn't have to be Elvis. Now, if you don't have any blank playing cards, that's fine. You can grab like an ace of hearts and draw the picture in the corner. It doesn't have to be a fully blank card. The effect is still just as strong. You also don't need a second deck of cards like I used in this trick. You could really just put one card aside, just leave that card on the table, put a book on top of it, or you could just put the single card right in their hand and ask them to close their hand over it to sandwich it. Any reason to have them not look at the card but try to imagine what card it might be will work. So the secret to this trick is that on the back of the card that has a drawing, I put a little bit of double stick tape. Now you probably can't see it on camera, but it's just a little bit of double stick tape around the edges of the card. And that card goes on the top of the deck. Now you really can let them select any card they want. You're going to make it stick to this card anyway. So let's say they pick this card. As you're explaining to them that they're not going to see their card, you're not going to see their card, you just place it on top of this deck and you square it up, just put a little pressure on top to make the two cards stick together. When you pick it up, you're getting two cards, but it looks like one. Then you'll move this deck aside, you'll introduce the other deck or however else you want to hide this card. I like the idea of a red deck. It gives you a reason to put it in the middle so that you can't manipulate that card. Later, when you do your reveal, people are going to think that there's something up with the red deck. They're going to think that by putting that card in there, you switched it out for another card, and they're going to want to see the red deck. It's completely examinable because it's a regular deck of cards. In fact, the only thing not examinable at this point is this fake card because it's a double, and you'll just take this, put it in your pocket, and move on to another trick. Draw whatever picture you have on that card on this piece of paper, and then enjoy the reveal. You can go nice and slow with this as you show them what the picture is. You can make a joke about it. Oh, it's Elvis. They'll laugh at your drawing. Then when you say it's the King of Hearts, they're going to think that's the end of the trick. Oh, you predicted the King of Hearts. That's a good card trick. But it's so much better when you flip this card over and show them the picture that matches yours on the card.